I guess I'll consider potatoes a spring crop.
When I was talking about things planted in the spring and harvested pretty close to spring, potatoes were exactly what I was talking about because you harvest your potatoes like right on the cusp of spring going into summer, right?
Yes, right around the beginning to middle of June, I will end up harvesting
Mhm.
my white potatoes.
Mhm, mhm.
Or let me
I'm
rephrase that.
thankful.
My non-sweet potatoes, because they may be
Yeah.
purple, they may be red, who knows? They may be
Yeah.
yeller.
Unless you said sweet potatoes, anytime you say potatoes, I know you're talking about
Yeah,
non-sweet potatoes, right?
you know, but the listener might
Yeah.
not know.
Uh,
So we have to remember we have
well,
other people listening to us.
well, I mean, now they gotta learn the hard way.
Yeah. So, I mean, the reason why I bring that up is because, I mean, technically it's planted in spring, it's harvested in spring, therefore it is a spring crop. I have,
Not for me in my calendar, but that's a part of the distinction, right? So
yeah,
even if I
absolutely.
plant my potatoes at the earliest recommended, which would be March 20th, and so presuming, what's 100 days, let's call it, for some that are longer, maybe some that are shorter, some that are mid-season, that puts me in,
The day before summer.
yeah, like just on the other side of summer.
Yeah. So, yeah. So the technically
Yeah,
by the
pretty
books,
close.
I would call that a summer crop for you because you
Mm.
harvest it in summer.
Oh gosh, this is not a dance I want to.
I know I
I
hate
don't,
it, but we have to distinct it. We have to give it a
yeah. For
distinction.
this conversation, I disagree. I look at it to say that it's a spring crop because the majority of the growing happened in spring, but I didn't plant them on March 20th. So that's why I'm
So are
talking
my
about both
tomatoes
sides
a spring
here.
crop?
Oh, good grief.
Yeah, see?
When do you harvest your first tomato?
Um Probably right around my first tomato, I would say would be around the first week of June. The bulk of the harvest comes right in the first week, the first 3 weeks of summer.
Yeah. So summer is like June 20 something, which means that it's actually the second half of June. And it doesn't have to be this technical. That's why sometimes I prefer using cool weather and warm weather like we do.
Yeah.
That's easier. I think that you plant your tomatoes in April.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's still a good bit of spring too.
I consider
So
it a
my
summer
logic
crop all the
of
way.
But again, I think still the majority of your growing happens in summer. You are growing them for the purpose of summer, for the
Mhm.
bounty to happen in summer. Whereas the potatoes, as an example, you're trying to get them. The intent is to grow them in the coolest weather you can, right?
Right. Well, the moral of the story is it's different across the board. So
Yeah.
Batavia is in Chicago and I'm in coastal North Carolina. So everything's a little bit different for both of us. So if you look at it that way, potatoes for me are absolutely a spring crop. Now,
Hmm.
I've never canned potatoes myself because it takes an hour.
Yeah.
And it says it takes an hour, but look, everybody, it takes an hour of actual canning plus 20 minutes to get it to pressure and plus another 20 minutes or even longer to get it out of pressure and then prepping. It's a couple hours to do it. So it's a lot. So
Yeah.
I've never
I've
done
canned
that. Now that
potatoes before.
you have, I'm
Hmm.
going to this year, I'm going to can 50% of my harvest right off the bat.
Hmm.
Just go ahead and knock it out. And then maybe 25, but I'm leaning more towards 50%. But
Hmm.
we've tried other things and look, storage, like a storage crop is absolutely in my mind, if you grow it for storage, I think that's a method of preserving too, like cabbages, root vegetables, stuff like that. So
I think for this conversation, it is.